Hello and welcome everyone. So we are connecting after a long time. This is post the postponement of the prelims examination to 10th of October. So this year as well, like last year, the prelims has been postponed, keeping in mind the exigencies, the situation, and primarily the situation of the COVID virus, the COVID pandemic. So the most important thing for you right now is keeping yourself and your family safe. There is nothing more important than that. All right, so in the next whatever strategy that we have today, there is one thing that has to be very central to it, and that is keeping you and your family safe. I would like to begin this session by first telling you that try to get vaccinated as early as possible. Newspapers reports have been very disturbing, saying the new mutant variant that we have is a little on the more lethal side. Still, whether you have faith in the vaccine or not, get yourself vaccinated, take your parents and get them vaccinated as early as possible. This is one. All right. So now for this today's strategy talk, a few things that I want to say is that whatever our strategy has to be, it has to depend a lot on our objectives, that what is it that we want to achieve. Instead of beginning with what we should do right now, let us go back to the end. All right, instead of beginning with what we want to do right now, let us be guided by some objective facts, and let us be guided by what we want at the end of our these 4-5 months extra that we have gotten. All right, so just let us take a time scale. See, right now if we see, the exam is postponed to October. All right, precisely 10th. All right, to predict what we want to achieve, all right, let us just draw a time scale. Before that we have September, August, all right, let's be specific with the dates. So the prelims has been postponed to at least 10th of October. All right, we don't know for sure, but at least 10th of October is something that we know, that given the current situation. And today we are sitting on 15th of May. All right, this is the timeline that we have. So what we want to, what our preparation strategy has to be completely based on what we want on this day, on 10th of October. 10 अक्टूबर को क्या हमारी पोजीशन हम एक्सपेक्ट जो करते हैं उसके बेसिस पे हम ये रणनीति तैयार करेंगे. वी विल स्ट्रेटेजाइज आवर strategy with respect to the prelims, with respect to the mains, based on what we want on 10th of October. On 10th of October, there can be technically 4 combinations of your prelims preparation strategy. All right, there can be 4 combinations. All right, so let me just outline it. Your prelims preparedness, and your mains preparedness, right? 2 things are there. Your mains preparation. Please understand that there is always no better news for a student or an aspirant than to have his exams cancelled or postponed. All right. So some people would be very happy that exams have been postponed, but they are not able to show this happiness on their faces. All right, they want to say that no, I wanted to give the exam, but very sadly it has been postponed now. All my plans have been derailed. Some of you would be like that, hiding some of your happiness. All right, that exam is postponed. What is important, however, is that we must benefit from the situation. All right, there is a very, there is a concept of resource curse. Resource curse doctrine says that if you have more resources, you are likely to screw up. You are less likely to be in a better situation if you have more resources. People who have less resources often do better. Not just people, nations do better with less resources. Nations which have more resources often end up doing worse. You take the example of West Asia, Israel, decently prosperous state, doing so well, does not have much resources. All right, it is located in the middle of a desert, and yet we are importing defense from them. Not only that, all right, we are 1 billion strong people with a primary profession of agriculture, and we are also learning agriculture technology from them. We are learning drip irrigation from Israel, isn't it? And we are a resource rich nation. All right, so let us not be people who have more resources and less success. Let us be people who have probably less resources and more success. All right, so do not let this, people will not equally benefit from this change in dates. Because we have more time, some people will say this time my preparation is even worse than the last time. Please don't be that person. Don't say because this year or last year also when more time was given, people said, sir, because more time was given, therefore I could not perform. This should not be your excuse. This cannot be your alibi. All right, make sure that you benefit from this time arrangement. This is God's plan, especially for those of you whose preparation has not been complete or has not been adequate or satisfactory. This is God's plan. This is God's plan for you. We will see that if you make good use of this time, and even if you could not prepare well, the time extension that you have gotten, this is what can propel you to get success in this attempt itself. So a desirable situation, obviously on 10th October, what should be the desirable situation on 10th October? Prelims preparedness, it should be good or substantial to some extent. Good or substantial. This can be one combination. Mains preparation, good or substantial. है ना? This is the ideal type. Public administration students will say, this is, sir, the ideal type, like the bureaucracy. This is the most perfect situation, that we have a good prelims situation, a good prelims preparation or a substantial prelims preparation and a good mains preparation. This is the ideal type. The second type could be that we have good / substantial prelims preparation, but let us say poor mains preparation. A third choice can be poor prelims preparation and good or substantial mains preparation. And the fourth is, sir, we got more time, therefore I could not prepare for prelims and I could not prepare for mains also. All right. So this is obviously the number one ideal type of situation. A very clear cut, those of you who are saying, sir, I'm very concerned about my prelims preparation, it has not been complete, what should be my strategy be? Please be very clear with what our objective is, what is the end goal that you want to achieve. Between these two choices, obviously poor, this is the least desirable, so it is on number 4. All right, this poor, so it is automatically on number 4. Now between these two choices, you have to be very clear. That clarity is very important. Before cracking this exam, in the exam hall, you have to crack this exam in your head. All right, have that level of clarity in your head before you do something for the exam. Otherwise, with a clouded judgment, you will not be able to achieve much in life. With a very clouded judgment, we are not going to achieve anything in life. All right, so make sure that at least it can be a wrong assumption. All right, our decisions can be wrong, but you have to be clear with what we want to. Don't be in a confused state. So what will happen is here, among these situations, let me tell you unequivocally that between these two, a good or substantial preparation of prelims stands more important in a more important place than a good preparation of mains but poor preparation of prelims. So what is this? This always is the more preferable situation. All right, this always is the more preferable situation. But given the resource, the very egalitarian resource of time that we have, all right, we can always at least we can achieve 2 and definitely we can achieve 1. All right, or at least I'll say definitely we can achieve 2, and for 2 you do not have to do much, but I can guarantee you that if you play your cards right, if you take good decisions and you develop good habits and take up the right activities, you can definitely reach 1. So be very clear with that, and our goal has to be 1, and if we fail at goal 1, we should land up in 2. That's it. All right, do not be in a situation anything under 3 or 4, we have to avoid the situation. Please remember that I interact with thousands of students, and what I see is one of the things that I clearly dislike or despise is that do not have the syndrome of even if I clear prelims, I won't get through mains. Please don't have this syndrome. Our priority has to be a good preparation or a above average preparation for mains, but a very good preparation for the prelims. All right, so this is the situation that we want to be on 10th of October. Be very clear with this. So if you want to this situation, what is common between these two situations is at all what you'd want. Ideally, we want this situation, a very good preparation for prelims as well as mains. We don't have this, we will settle for this. This cannot be the goal, this cannot be the objective. The objective is this, but we may settle for this. So that has to be very clear. If you, on the other hand, if you have too much mains centric or prelims phobia and we end up with 3 or 4, we are not going to write the mains. People who compromise their mains preparation for prelims, all right, do not write mains annually. So let us be very clear, we are spending a part of our youth, a number of years, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of effort, our parents' money, a lot of these things. And if we are making all these things, if you are already doing all these things, why not make the best use of it? Why not come out with flying colors? Why should we not be committed to success? Why should we not work hard as possible? Why should we not sleep as less as possible and work as hard as possible? Why should not we deliver results? You are only in your 20s. This is the time where these are very formative years. Make good decisions. So to land up in this situation, at least what is common? Prelims, good prelims and substantial preparation of prelims is common. And I would assume to some extent that you would be preparing for prelims at least for 2 months. At least for 2 months. Alright, that is my assumption. Even if you have not been preparing for prelims, irrespective of everything, to be in this situation, a good prelims preparation, we have to ensure that this September to October and 10th August to 10th September, this has to be given to prelims. This has to be given to prelims. Be very clear. Do not have any iota of doubt that I will be doing. So that is why I am saying Forum IAS is known for mains preparation, very strongly known for mains preparation. I'll very honestly say that out of, now the list, the numbers, recruitments are reduced, but out of odd 900 students, every third student generally has done his mains preparation from Forum. Alright, every 300 plus students, and out of this 300, I may have met 200 of them face to face multiple times. And I can tell you this, that while I will not ask you to simply jump into the mains preparation, unless you are committed that I am going to give between 10th of August, these last 2 months I am going to give it to prelims. That is when we can start talking. Otherwise, if you are going to get into mains and you do not have an exit plan, alright, if you do not have an exit plan when to get back to prelims, if you don't have a plan, then we are entering a chakravyuh or a quagmire and we are not going to come out of it. Alright, then we have to again go for next. So be very clear that these months are solely dedicated. These months are dedicated to prelims examination, have no plans. Which means that these 2 months from this period, this period, please utilize it for your mains preparation. These months, please utilize it for your mains preparation. Alright, please utilize it for your mains preparation, because again, like last year, we are not likely to get a long time for the mains preparation. These 2 months, please go for your mains preparation. Now, the question arises, alright, these 2 months and right now we are sitting in 15th May till June, this month, entire month, what should we be doing? Alright, so this will depend a lot on what is your preparation level. Alright, to some extent, those of you who are not very confident of prelims ke tayari, or who have a fear of prelims, first you have to ensure that these 2 months you are committed to the prelims examination, and this month, this period, right, this 15th May till 30th of May, what I would request you, if you have the potential, if you have the patience, finish off whatever is in your prelims syllabus right now, no matter what somebody tells you. Finish off whatever is in prelims, so that at the end of 2 months period, right before the prelims examination, you are in a situation of revision. Alright, what is not to be done? What is not to be done? Let me be very clear with that also, what is not to be done. Some of you will say, there are 2 things that we can do wrong right now. One is that keep studying for prelims till this time. Alright, the problem is not, I am not going to say that the problem is that you will have a poor preparation of mains, therefore mains will be a challenge. That is obviously a very obvious thing. But the biggest challenge is that you have already at least given, at least 1 month or 2 months. Already you have given 2 months for the prelims preparation. Stretching it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more months is going to be extremely torturous, extremely low productivity, and at the end of 5 months, I don't think that if I ask you, ki bacha, if you are prepared for prelims, you will say, sir, I am prepared for prelims. That will not happen. You are simply having a plan of wasting away your time. If you say, ki, sir, I am not good at, unless you are beginning your preparation today. Alright, ki kuch bhi nahi padha hai, you have never bought the books also. If you are buying your books, then probably you go ahead with it. If today you are planning to order your books or getting 5, 6 basic books, then probably you can go ahead with it. Alright, but please do not use this entire time, go from here till the mains, till the 10th of October for prelims, because you will technically be wasted away. You will not achieve anything substantial. Prelims preparation is also not going to be very good. Why I am saying this is, see, it does not mean that if you study like prelims preparation requires 5 months of preparation. I am assuming that at least 2 months you have studied to some extent, or you have done, at least read the basic books and at least underlined your things. After that, you need a time of 2 months or about 3 months after this for the revision aspects. This is what you need. Now even if you take 5 months, you can take, if you take 5 months, you've already given 2 months and you're going to take 5 months only for prelims preparation, or you're going to take another 6 months, you can take 2 years also, and yet you will not be able to effectively clear the prelims unless, you know, so unless you have a high productivity. See, prelims is cracked on the basis of two principles, two parameters. One is that prelims preparation invariably has to be done immediately before the prelims examination. A long-term knowledge does not help in prelims. Compared to the mains examination, in prelims examination, long-term knowledge is not, will help you to some extent, but is not the reason why we clear the cutoff. Cutoff clearing will not happen because of a long-term knowledge. Cutoff clearing will happen because of, at least for beginners, what you have studied immediately. So definitely immediately before prelims, you have to study for prelims. The second is prelims require intense study. Intense means you will have to sit for 6, 7, 8 hours, 10 hours, something like this. For the mains, you may not do very intense study and still you will clear the mains examination. Alright, you may have good articulation skills, you may have good writing skills, you may have broad idea of the basic themes from which questions come, and you may be very well updated with current affairs, plus you may have interest in international relations, you may have interest in economy, and on that basis you will be able to write a good answer. Alright, or those things may happen. But it may not require the intensity of efforts, but the prelims examination requires intense effort. Means the amount, the density or energy density or the focus density that is required for the prelims examination is much more than the mains examination. Alright, I repeat, the focus density, by which I mean to say the amount of energy it takes to study for prelims, you know, it is a little more than the mains examination. The amount of focus, the laser beam focus that you need, the mental focus that you need for prelims is much more than what you need for the mains examination. And I'm not saying that the mains is not any less competitive. The mains is, while in prelims not everybody studies, but in mains everybody is studying. Alright, so competition is much more, but it is simply the nature of the examination, the nature of questions that are asked in prelims. The focus density is very high. You need to have very laser beam focus. So the one wrong strategy is you just start doing something from here and you're just doing that. Alright, this is only recommended if you are planning to buy or order books from Amazon and Flipkart today. That okay, now I'm planning to buy the books. If you are in this stage, by all means you can do this. Alright, the second wrong strategy is that somebody will tell you that follow an integrated approach. You study 2 hours history for this, and 2 hours this, 2 hours that, 2 hours polity, 2 hours this, 2 hours that. That approach in the end, see, this civil services examination requires, you know, certain level of concentration. If you ask me certain qualities that are required to crack this exam, one of the qualities among others is that the ability to sit for 3 to 4 hours at a time. Because the exam will also require you to write this examination by sitting for 3 hours at a stretch. 3 hours is the time that you will be sitting at a stretch in the exam writing. Before that, at least 15 minutes before, you will have to sit. Alright, so 3 ghante, 3.25 hours, or it is 3 hours 15 minutes, so you should be having the sitting capacity without getting up. So that is very much required. So what will happen is, if you're thinking of having any plans, you know, that 90 minutes you study history, 90 minutes you study world history, 90 minutes you study current affairs, 20 minutes you study like this, I would not recommend this unless you are a 5th or 6th attempt person who has the attention span of a fish. Alright, that you are not able to study for more than 30 minutes at a stretch. Unless you are having this problem, I would not recommend you to go for this. You have the habit of sitting for 3.5 hours. And please do not follow this, that I'm also doing prelims as well as I'm doing mains, as well as I'm doing GS mains, and I'm doing optional. You can't do all of these things. People who try to do everything end up doing nothing. You know, Rag Darbari, there is a book by Srilal Shukla, alright, very famous satirical author. If you ever get time, please unko padhiyega. Please read Rag Darbari by Srilal Shukla. He describes you know, government offices sometimes not having work, कि काम इतना है कि सारा काम ठप पड़ा है. There is so much work that no work is being done. If you decide to do everything all at once, you will not end up doing everything. I think in the movie Life of Pi, the protagonist is told that when you have faith in, the protagonist goes to the church, he goes to the masjid, he goes to the temple. So his father tells him that if you believe in all the faiths, it is as good as not believing in any of the faiths. Alright, so in trying to do everything, you will end up doing nothing. So don't try to have an extremely mixed approach that I am also focusing in those. Focus is something, it simply means that focus is focusing on one thing. It never means focusing on 10 number of things. Nobody can, then it's not focus. It's not focus at all. And what is required is that you should be able to focus. So please do not mix too many things during this duration. Please do not mix during things that, sir, I'm studying for prelims also and I'm studying for mains also. That could not be the case. If at all you have a phobia of prelims, you can give 90 minutes, maybe if you want, but I would recommend that be very watertight. Be very clear with what are your achievables, what are your deliverables. If you have a fear, abhi se lekar 30th of this month, you finish off whatever is left in the prelims examination. All right, and then you give yourself this time. Alternatively, if you have, depending on how your prelim situation is, alternatively, what you can also do is that you can, these are the months that I'm saying for prelims. If your prelims preparation is not very good, you can extend it a bit. You can extend it a bit. All right, you can extend it a bit to here also. All right, you go for mains preparation right now and you extend your prelims preparation to this part. All right, somewhere around this part. Isko bhi kar lein. That alternatively this thing can do, but please make sure that you have to pitch in your mains preparation at some point of time. The broad rule which I will tell you is June, July, है ना, ये June हो गया और ये July हो गया. This is for mains, and August and September. This is for prelims. You can safely have this. August, September, you can keep it for prelims, and June, July you can keep for mains. You can increase or decrease these windows depending on your comfort level and your preparation level. All right, but please keep the windows intact to some extent. Don't shift the goalpost also. Yeah, I'm not able to hit the ball, the football in the goalpost, so therefore I'll shift the goalpost. Don't do this. All right, you can have a flexibility of 15 days, 2 weeks or 3 weeks in this. By which I mean to say is that you say, sir, you know, for mains, I'm comfortable with prelims and this is my mains preparation. So, sir, I would want to take it ahead by, let's say, 3 weeks here. All right, 3 weeks I would like to extend it here, or maybe 2 weeks here and 1 week I would like to extend it here. If similarly, if you are not satisfied with your prelims preparation, you can say that, excuse me, apart from these two, these 2 months that I'm giving, I would like to extend it by 3 weeks more. All right, between 2 to 3 weeks more, I would want to extend it. All right, so this is what you can do. All right, but apart from this, do not shift this thing. Be very clear. June, July is for mains. August, September is for prelims. With a flexibility of 2 to 3 weeks, the window can shift in any direction. So this is what is one of the key mails that we have been getting. Now, also a very old student called up and she asked this question, ki, sir, those of you who are part of SFG. All right, please make sure that, so she said, yes, sir, I did my SFG and I was able to clear the prelims, and consistently I have been able to clear prelims for like 4 years now, but for mains I am not able to clear. All right, this is a very question that was raised by her, and a lot of students today, in fact today and yesterday also we interacted with dozens of students who are having this problem. So there has been a demand for something like SFG for the mains examination. Unfortunately, SFG banks on 2 things. One is competition, and the other is, a ranking system. So for doing something like this for the mains examination, look, we do have the guilt that we do not have an equivalent of SFG for the mains examination, because it is difficult to evaluate as many copies or at least even have an index. We do have that guilt. Having said that, we do realize that mains syllabus preparation can only be done in a mission mode. Like some of you may have benefited from SFG by covering the syllabus in a mission mode in 2 months, 3 months. So we do realize that. We will, what I can assure you as the director of Forum IS and founder of Forum IS is that we will come up with something for June, July at least, or even before that, for the mains examination on the lines of SFG. We are still deliberating on it. All right, so that you have the same coverage of the syllabus that you have for the prelims. All right, plus some competition is induced. So something on the lines of 7 AM test, which we want to do because we know that it works. Because we know that there are hundreds of people who have cleared the prelims examination only because of SFG, and if something similar on this, something on these lines will help. We also have to just figure out the evaluation stuff. So something you can expect, with respect to the mains preparation, we'll come up with something. And the second thing is that a good utilization of time right now has to be very important on your part. A good utilization of time has to be very important on your part. All right, so by what I mean is, see, time is a very egalitarian entity. Why? It's classless, it does not differentiate among the rich and the poor. All right, nearly everybody has an equal amount of time. All right, there are few good things with time. First is that nearly everybody has an equal amount of time, and second is, if you lose today, Tomorrow again you will have exactly 24 hours to achieve whatever you want to achieve. My expectation would be that you make good use of time and you are not, we are living in an age where you are also seeing me through a rectangular screen. So we are living in a screen age, right, where we can only, even we do not have a human contact and human touch is completely missing. We are interacting through screens, rectangular figures. The rectangle is a very much human construct. In nature you will not have a perfect rectangle. All right, rectangle is has been imagined by humans, created by humans. In nature you will not have something perfectly rectangular. All right, so we are interacting through these. So make sure that you are not addicted to any of any social media or anything, or binge watching YouTube or something like this. Please avoid this. If you have any of these things, you will end up in a very poor position. Make sure that you are not addicted to any of these. Be very clear, set up alarms, write down things, and work accordingly. Yes, so we will come up with something for mains for June and July on the lines of SFG, that is one. But more important than that, please get to mains preparation to some extent. All right, mains preparation has to be done to some extent, and we promise you that we will get you back to prelims. This is something that is a personal responsibility. We will do something for prelims for the last 2 months. Getting back to prelims will be forum IS responsibility. इसको लाल कलम से लिख देते हैं, नहीं पिंक पेन से लिख देते हैं. Back to prelims. Wait, let me make it. Yes. Back to prelims is my responsibility. You take care of good utilization of. All right, back to prelims is my responsibility, our responsibility. We will do something for the in the last 2 months. We'll do something. Especially those of you who have been commenting, these are please continue SFG. We will lose the momentum. No, it is time to lose the momentum for the prelims. It is time to go for the mains. Back to prelims. I assure you, I guarantee we will do something. We will make sure that you will have the discipline in the last 2 months and you will do very well. All right. So back to prelims is our responsibility. Please move your focus to the mains examination. Have a rock solid plan. And let me see, in the next 1 or 2 days you can expect something from forum on the lines of SFG for select few students. I will not be able to accommodate everyone, of course, because this is going to require some human intervention. All right, it's not a machine based thing. We'll do something, and keep 3 rules in mind which we have also told you for SFG. All right, so please keep 3 rules in mind for the next few months. One is that please utilize the golden hour, that is start studying within 30 minutes of waking up. No phone, nothing, no going to washroom, nothing like that is needed. All right, get a glass of a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a glass of Horlicks if possible. Right now you must be staying at home, so get a glass of Bonvita or Horlicks, whatever you want, and start studying within 30 minutes of waking up. Otherwise something will distract you. That's one. Second is please have a to-do list or a task list before you in a written down diary, so that you are navigating through the day with a pre-decided goals and tasks to complete rather than on the basis of your mood. And third is please maintain discipline, which means that whatever you want to do, you must be able to do that. If you cannot do what you want to do, all right, if you cannot do, then that is completely, discipline is subverting our activities, means not subverting our activities to our moods. All right, discipline is doing the right thing at the right time. It means not subverting our activities or deprioritize our activities to our mood. So you cannot let your day has to be guided by your diary or your to-do list, or right, your task list. आपकी task list जो है ना, उसके towards से your day has to be guided. It should not be guided by moods. That cannot be the case. So this is all. Make good use of this time, and I expect that this time also you will give stupendous results. And some of you have reached out for completion of syllabus of mains on the lines of prelims through the SFG program. We'll work on that. All right, as of now I'm guaranteeing you one thing: back to prelims. Forum will take care of it. You take care of everything else. We'll be there. All right, just 2 months before the prelims examination, we'll be back for you. All right, thank you so much, class.